Welcome to the Fantasy Football Clown Show. I'm your host, the Fantasy Clown, along with the real Brad Smith. Wow, week 4, the beginning of bye weeks here in week 5, and a lot going on around the clown heads. How did you fare, Brad, this week?
Uh, kind of even around the leagues. I won a couple and lost a couple.
Yeah, I've brought my leagues down a little bit this year, so I'm in the mid 60s with the amount of leagues I have, down from I guess in the 70s in prior years and that sort of thing. And I went through each team today, so had a whole day to go through teams and send out trade offers and kind of see where things are and see how far behind those 0-4 teams are and see how far ahead those first seed teams are, of course, and crazy, just crazy. But let's jump right into it. Let's look at everything we have, and then if there's some time left over at the end, maybe we'll come up with some of our thoughts, after week 4. So looking at DraftKings this week, actually, it was just kind of a reverse of last week as far as first and second place. Those are the two spots we pay. Rick Topher 156.42 and JDM Clown 1989 with a 136.72. So JDM won last week. Rick Topher came in second, and this week is just flip flop around. I was fourth place. I had a 108, so I guess I'm just like hobnobbing or not putting as much time in. I'm actually not playing any other DFS lineup except for the one in this, so I guess I'm just donating $10 a week. But just didn't have anything that could catch this week. It seemed so. Our survivor pool, we have a winner. We actually are down from 28 people down to the final person standing was Achilles the Hub. He took KC, and so he knew that if KC won, he was going to have a championship because the lone Al won, took the Giants on Thursday night. And when they lost, then he knew that it was his time had come. As long as Achilles the Hub could pick a winner. So we're going to actually start up a second survivor just starting in week 5 because, we have a winner already. After 4 weeks, 28 people all gone. So I would have taken the 49ers this week. So I had the 49ers shirt on. And nobody took my 49ers this week. But Achilles the Hub took Seattle last week, which was my pick after getting eliminated with the Baltimore Ravens. So I'm not sure what I'm going to take next week in the new one, but I'm excited for that, and everybody is welcome to jump into this second survivor. So second chance survivor starting with week 5. So we'll see how long this goes. If it's anything like the last time, geez, we all got eliminated in 4 weeks. I mean, that's crazy. So it's just almost baffling to even think about it. So the link is in the Discord. Link is in the other survivor, and I might put them in all the leagues here, coming up as well. So just to get some publicity on that. Looking at best ball, the head-to-head A league, which is basically has trades and waiver wires, but just kind of gets us started. Mahomes comes back with the top score again this week. Comes back from last week having the top score as well. And then in B, Brendan G14, was a newcomer to that list. So every week in B, there's been somebody different with the top score. So that's pretty well evened out there. But that score was 333.58 as compared to A being only 286.05. So that B is going to be really aggressive and really a challenge to win. If I remember right, I think I'm 0-4 in that league, so I can't win there. So I guess I'm not gonna have to worry about me in that one. It's pretty much a punt for me. Clownhead 1 is another redraft. Jay Batista 10, and was the high scorer last week as well. So with a 297.06, and then Kamish with a 300.50 in Clownhead 3. Again, wasn't that we've had different top scorers 3 of the 4 weeks this year in that particular league. So Kamish hasn't been the top scorer there yet. So that's kind of the redrafts. And I know we focus on dynasty, but as we get to that quarter poll, I mean, looking at the redraft seems like an important time, there. So I have a trade out to Commissioner Justin in one of those. Wanted to throw it by you, Brad. I offered him Drake May for Tony Brissett or Jacoby Brissett straight up. So which side of that trade would you like?
In a redraft, Ellie Brissett.
Well, it sounds like Meg is going to get starting in November. It's what that the team is saying he's ready to start, but they want to just get the team a little bit more gelled before they put him out there. So it's coming. I mean, I think it's coming that he's going to actually start. But I ran into the bye week trouble this week, and I was like, well, who can I go get with somebody that is just – I'll push that problem down the line for the next bye week. Just got to push it down the line and, chase here. I feel like I need a win and don't know what else I can do besides give away a quarterback that I thought was going to be part of the help, down the line for the later bye weeks. But apparently, I'll deal with the later bye weeks when the later bye weeks come and sell my soul again. But, yeah, it's just kind of chasing wins in redraft for sure. Looking at Clownhead 1 through 5, we have Clownhead 1, JDM 283.55, and we had him picked as a second place team overall when we did our preseason picks. Clownhead 2, Heifer 808 with a 235.16, and didn't have him in the top 1 or 2 in the preseason. Clownhead 3, JSL 111, 262.95. He just keeps coming here. He won the back-to-back each. He was our only back-to-back winner, and in Clownhead 3. So now back in there with a good score again. And we didn't have him in our preseason either. Clownhead 4, JDM 1989 for the second time in Clownheads 1 through 5, 269.18. I wonder if he has almost the same players or something. We didn't have him in the top 2 in Clownhead 4. Clownhead 5, Turkleton 2420, 274.45. And, when I'm looking there, we had him picked to be in second place, and then he was a top scorer back in week 2 as well. Let's take a look at Justin's team in Clownhead 1. That was our top overall scorer with a 283.55 and see what that looks like.
I mean, just wait till you see this team. I mean, I don't know how he got the highest score in all these leagues. He has 1 QB.
Wow. Okay. And did he start that last week? Did he start Mike White?
I mean, he doesn't have any other starters besides Tua, who's hurt.
Huh.
That's insane.
Well, it must mean that Neighbors had a big week, and Nico Collins and Jefferson. He's got McBride back, so he's actually going to be stronger this week than last week with McBride coming back, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, Swift had a good week. Walker had a great week. So he had his guys kind of perform, and Stroud had a good week as well. It looks like he's got Zamir White on the bench. Trey Benson, Juwan Jennings, he has on the bench. Hunter Henry, who he could even possibly put in for Conklin if he wants to. Like, he has decisions now with McBride back. And then he's got Miller and Tua on the bench or on the IR.
And I like Barner as a tight end. Coming. It looked like they want to put him as part of the offense too. But yeah, so that was our top. Year 3 of this league. So it's exciting to kind of watch this one. As we go. And so congratulations, Justin, on the top score and having 2 top scores in Clownheads 1 through 5. Looking at Clownhead 6 through 10, MB Gut 257.51 in Clownhead 6. That was the second time. He was back in week 2 as well. So it's kind of interesting. Some of those week 4, week 2 comparisons there. Clownhead 7, Megaido 276.12. and was back-to-back winners, and then also in week 1. So in Clown at 7, Clown at 8, Petey Boy 240.62, and that's the first time that he's jumped into this. Clown had 9, Psalm 3303 with a 301.96. He was our second preseason pick, and then also our top score getter last week in Clown had 6 or 10. And then Nick Merkel 4 in Clown had 10 with a 283.70, and he was the week 2 top scorer in Clown had 6 in Clown had 10 as well. Let's take a look at Psalm 3303. So this team has been the top scorer both the last 2 weeks, and Clown has 6 or 10. So he must have 3 quarterback now. No,
he does. This team's good. He has Hurts on bye this week, so he is.
Okay.
But I mean, he has Dak, Hurts, and Geno, and then JT, Tyreek Hill, Debo, Travis Kelce finally had a good week. Derrick Henry had a huge week. Amari Cooper had a good week. He's getting Evan Ingram back. Aaron Jones has been good this year. Cortland Sutton has been decent. And he's got Jalen Hurts on bye. He's got Saquon Barkley on bye. He has Mostert probably coming back here soon. Devonta Smith on bye. I mean, this team's good. He's got Chubb on the IR.
Is Chubb going to play this week, or are we still a little bit away from Chubb playing?
I don't think he'll play this week, but I think he'll start practicing.
Okay. And, Jonathan Taylor should be out this week, right? Because that's what I'm hearing. So I guess I'm thinking he's going to have to put somebody in there for Jonathan Taylor.
I mean, he's got Aaron Jones, Kareem Hunt. He's got Derrick Henry. He's got options. And
just down here on his bench, who does he have to fill in there for? Antonio Gibson is going to get the start this week, so
maybe, yeah, Mostert should be back this week, so he still has some options.
Are you scared of the Miami offense? I'm kind of scared of the Miami offense. I think I'd be going with, even though it's bad, I'd be going the New England offense. And
I'm not scared of the running game.
Gibson, and just kind of going with Gibson, I think is where I'd be if it were me. But it'll be interesting to kind of see where he goes there and how he runs that. Looking at our tournament leagues, Elite 8, Division A, Andy Tomberlin, 277.81. And, we had him second as our preseason picks, and then he won in week 2 as well. Division B, Fat Black, 261.84. And looks like he was our top score getter in B last week there. We didn't have him in the top 2 at the beginning of the year. Jason Poirot won in Division C. He's back-to-back top score getters in Division C. We didn't have him in the top either. Division D, Max Philly fan comes in. First time I think we've had him on the docket, Division D for Max Philly fan. Division E, Miralus 6. He was our second preseason pick and also the top score getter in week 1. And then Division F, River AD 98. And let's see, we had him as our top choice in the preseason, first time that he's entered the top board. The Dutch Dynasty looks like week 2, week 3, week 4, and we had him as our preseason pick in Division G. Last week being the top score getter in all of Elite 8. And then Division H, Zeke 123, first time coming out in week 4 being the top score getter. Let's take a look at Miralus. Second time in this division of being the top scorer getter. So let's take a look at that team.
Yeah, this team's solid. Having
320 is a big number for that kind of format.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at his team, it looks like he's got some guys that had great weeks with Baker, Goff, Kamara, Jones, Collins, Godwin. I think even Pittman had a decent week last week. Laporta and Freiermuth as his tight ends. Jaden Reed Odunze is
It looks like
young.
Anthony Richardson, if he plays, he can put him in this week.
Yep.
So that's a
Oh,
boon. And then
he's
once
got
you got
a
tight
he's
end,
got Charbonnet, Roshan Johnson, Gibson, Benson, Addison, Brian Thomas, Keenan Allen, Dulcich, Jatavian Sanders.
he's got to kind of come up with a tight end. It looks like this week because of the Laporta bye, but he'll be able to sub one of those guys in. At least he has the quarterback there. Looks like he's avoided the injury. Like there's nobody really hurt on his team.
Yeah, no, he's gotten pretty lucky that in that.
Take a peek at his draft picks. Did he sell the farm or is he still full bore there? Pretty much ready to go. He's losing a second, but he's got the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like he can really do some damage there. So really good drafting, really good, playing it out. Baker, he's got the 3 quarterbacks all healthy, and should be in good shape this week. So, congratulations definitely to Miralus, and good luck this week running it back. Looking at the Big 8, our other tournament league, Division S, Steelers Nation 66 with a 268.88. Kind of the first time on the board as our top score getter. Actually, one dot at 21 was all 3 weeks prior to this. So we had a new top scorer in Division S. Division T, Captain Curl. We had him as our preseason pick. He was week 1 and comes back with a 284.38. Division U, we have Jay Yates 11, 286.33. He was our top score getter in all of the Big 8 last week, and we had him as our preseason first place team. Division V, Ghost 11. First time on the board this week in Division V. We have Division W, Philip Rupert. He was our second preseason pick and first time with a top score getter in Division W. Division X, we have Felix DeCat 00, first time on the board in Division X as well with that 285.98. And with Division Y, we have C Yates 87, 271.61. And looks like that was back to back or 3 in a row. C Yates 87 in top scores. It was our preseason pick, and back in week 2 had the top scorer in all of the Big 8. And then Division Z, Marshall Gore enters the board first time, and all different people in Division Z, and none of them are the 2 preseason favorites. So we have 6 total listing, 6 of the teams listed out there. I'm in Division Z, and I'm not any part of any of those 6. But yeah, there's all 6 different teams, the 4 top week score getters, and then 2 other teams. So we'll look to see if there's a repeat this week. Looking back, Ghost 11 jumping in with Division V. What does that team look like, Brad?
His team's interesting. He's got Purdy, Dalton, and Watson as his 3 QBs, so I wouldn't even say they're studs. He's got Levis on bye. I mean, so his QBs, he's got 4 of them, so can't complain right now.
Well, the receivers look solid, though.
Yeah, he's got Lamb and Chase, Deontay Johnson, Collins, Diggs, Wicks, Lockett. He definitely went wide receiver heavy in this league because he started Chuba Hubbard as his starting running back even. It looks like he's got Pollard on bye, so he probably had him in last week. He had a good week. Braylon Allen's turning into a good guy to have. He's got Ridley on bye as well. He's got Kupp and Higbee on his IR. But no draft.
He did sell the picks next year, though. If you notice there, he sold his picks for next year. So, but yeah, as long as the quarterbacks stay healthy, that's going to be the big key for him. He needs those quarterbacks to be putting up big points. He's got 4 with Levis if Levis keeps his job, type of thing. Well, Mason Rudolph. And there's a chance that Aiden O'Connell could get some activities as well. So yeah, he's got some possibilities to stay, in the mix there. As you're looking at your teams compared to some of these, Brad, do you feel like in the Elite 8 or or the Big Eight, your teams kind of mirror any of this kind of stuff, or what? How are you doing in those two tournament leagues?
I'm doing better in X, the Big Eight. I think my team mirrors this team a lot actually because I have Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Marvin Harrison as my wide receivers. So
Okay.
I kind of have like a big three as well.
Do you start three quarterbacks there in that format?
No.
Yeah, and see, that's kind of what I find is my Achilles heel. I was looking today. I have no quarterbacks in my Big Eight team, and so people that know me think of me as a quarterback guy. But in that particular league, I actually don't have quarterbacks, and I think that's sort of what is holding me back. But I'm always a slow builder, so I'm looking at the long game, and so I'll be kind of looking to get them with rookie picks and that's kind of it. Yeah, I have Mac Jones as my starting quarterback this week. So now I don't have quite the talent that you do at receiver, but I have Jamar Chase and Marvin Harrison as my top two receivers. And then, I'm only going to go as far as Kyle Pitts takes me at tight end, but I've kind of built the team around that sort of, a build with my receiver heavy. And yeah, just kind of fall into some quarterbacks eventually. And, that's always it. I have Will Levis as my only quarterback. So I had Bryce Young at the beginning of the year, so you can kind of see where I was going with that, young guys. But we'll kind of see how they come out. And I think the lesson there is you really need to make sure you get some quarterbacks, in this kind of a format. You have to put up 300, to be really successful. So you need the three quarterbacks to do the trick. How are you doing in the Elite Eight?
Well, I have the same record as the Big Eight, but I don't feel as confident in that team. I'm 2-2 in that league as well.
Okay.
But
what do you feel like when you look at your team and you say, hey, how do you feel like is the way to take this league down, the Big Eight? What do you feel like you need? Do you need depth, or do you need, can you build around a position group?
I think if you build around the tight end group in this league, I think you could be pretty successful. Because I feel like I am pretty balanced, and it's still not getting the job done.
Gotcha.
But my tight ends are hurt. I have Hawkinson, so that's been a big blow to this team.
Yeah, I'm really soft at tight end, and I think that feels like the Achilles heel. I've got guys like Kenneth Walker as my running back, and I'm a little bit light on receivers as well. I have a lot of quarterbacks here, or with Stroud and Purdy, and then Dak Prescott is my third guy. So feel like that's strong. What I learned in this league is this is year 3 for it. I started my league built around Trey Lance, and when you build around a quarterback that never played an ounce of football, that has the propensity of not being a good build. So
that's how I started this league too. I drafted.
Yeah. So I guess I reflect back on that, and I'm still chasing it based on that kind of a pick. So I'm probably a little bit away, and I've got to hit on some draft picks, but guys like Kenneth Walker, are pretty solid. And, just kind of trying to build Xavier Legette, feels like a nice little, find at receiver for me. We'll see how that comes out, as we go. And you always laugh at me with my Darnell Mooney shares, but in a league like this, Mooney isn't the worst guy in the world to have, start 4 receivers with 48 starting, and possibly 60 with or 72, I guess, if you started them, everybody started them in the flex. So, a lot of starting every week and on buys, those are good things to have. As I look, so I always take a look at week 4 and kind of see where I am, start to formulate what I think the team is. Do you do that with your teams at all? At any point, do you kind of look and say, what do I have here? And do I want to trade away assets? Do I want to just kind of be patient? Do I want to see how I'm doing overall?
I try to be as patient as I can. I probably won't start even thinking about that until week 10. like closer to the trade deadline.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm looking at things now, like how am I going to address bye weeks with teams that I think are pretty good? So I'm starting to look at, I'm not looking to sell my picks yet, draft picks, but I'm just kind of taking a look, where are my teams? What are the ones performing? Especially how many points for versus my ranking overall. So if I'm fourth in points for and I'm 10th in ranking, that means I've just run into some buzzsaws so far. And on those teams, I'm actually trying to kind of create some to go get some wins because I think the team actually does score points. And I think I'm going to, see if there's any weaknesses. And if there are, I might even overpay to handle solidify that weakness because I think it's a team that I'm really going to go after it to make a move. I'm not going to take intentional zeros with a team like that or intentional losses, I guess you could say, that might knock me out of the playoffs. But then I'm also looking at the teams that I think are the other way around, where I happen to be in third place that have won. I'm in third place, and I think I'm 10th in points for. So it's probably a little bit of smoke and mirrors, where I've gotten a little bit lucky. And also in that kind of a thing, I'm kind of riding it out to see if I can string together some wins, but I'm not going to chase it too far. And if the right opportunity comes for me to sell out some older players, I might take it and just understand that, probably, got lucky, early on in the year. And like you, I'll probably wait to make the big moves until after week 8 when I look at these things again and see how my record is. 8 weeks, I kind of feel like that's the end of October, and I have a pretty good idea of what the NFL looks like at that point, and how my teams are going to fare, and that gives me basically 3 or 4 weeks before the trade deadline to start to maneuver and get ready for next year or make a move for the playoffs. So kind of looking at that point as well. Some more injuries this week, right? But we didn't have those catastrophic quarterback injuries. I mean, outside of Richardson. I mean, right? Is there anybody else?
That's not even catastrophic either. He might, he could be back this week.
Yeah, I think he'll be back this week. Running backs look like there's a lot of high ankle sprains. I see there's some other running backs on the injury report. Did you hear anything about Breece Hall? I mean, he just put up a three spot or something crazy low.
He was on the injury report last week, but I think this week he should be feeling better.
Be good to go. Yeah, and they're going overseas. I saw Aaron Rodgers did hit the injury report today. So get your Tyrod Taylor shares ready to roll. And of course, we'll see. What do you think is going to happen with Devontae Adams? Are you have any shares of Devontae anywhere?
I don't have any shares of Devontae. Too old for my liking, but
yep, me too. I'm like sitting here saying, I have no shares in. I didn't even get him in redraft. I felt like I was just unsure of the quarterback situation. I just didn't think I wanted to get involved in all that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think there's a number of places he could go. I don't know if the Raiders are gonna actually trade him. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Sounds like the tight end is going to be back. Mayer is going to be back with the team possibly this week. So he was gone from the team. And I think we need to figure out what we're going to do. Trey Sermon playing for Jonathan Taylor. I think that's, pretty well. High ankle sprain usually is 2 to 3 weeks. So we'll see some Trey Sermon, I would imagine. And Rashee Rice, I guess, gone. That hurts things, right? I mean,
yeah. I don't know what the Chiefs are going to do yet.
Who do you think gets those snaps in Kansas City? I have an idea, and yet I don't think people are chasing it really. So,
I think Justin Watson is a interesting choice, actually, for those looks.
They like Justin Watson an awful lot. I mean, what about Mecole Hardman? You don't think that
more of a deep threat, kind of plays the worthy role?
Okay, that makes sense. And what about then the slot role was Sky Moore before? Do you think they?
I mean, I don't think that leads to more targets for him.
Okay,
they probably use Kelsey more, honestly, like they did.
Yeah, no, I mean that feels like so. Then if they use Kelsey more, that would mean Noah Gray plays more, right?
Yep.
And he gets the stuff. I mean, that wouldn't shock me either. Noah Gray got a big contract. Get him involved this now. Yeah.
I thought it was more interesting that Kareem Hunt kind of took over the backfield in 1 week.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like the way they're going to go. I actually think Carson Steele shares are going by the wayside. I mean, I think I didn't see if he was cut today, but I expect he's going to get cut. Like I actually think he's going to be the odd man out for running backs there. Clyde Edwards-Helaire should be activated from the PUP, is what I'm hearing. So if that happens, then we need to create one of those guys. They cut him. If nobody picks him up, then he gets signed by the practice squad. The only other option would be P. Ryan, but I feel like he's got enough staying power to really be something that. I mean, I guess they could cut Clyde Edwards-Helaire and hope that he makes it back to the practice squad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. I think P. Ryan's job is safe out of all of them, though.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like P. Ryan is the undrafted guy feels like the guy that would be the casualty here. And I think, like you said, I think that'll tell us a lot about the Kareem Hunt role because it sounds like he is the role.
Yeah,
he's in a. So that was the guy to kind of utilize the capital one, I guess. Yeah, I'm sort of thinking that I'm kind of hitching my wagon around Hardman being the guy that gets some targets, but also could see Noah Gray. So those are my two guys. If I was going to add somebody there, I think that would be where I'd go. And just kind of around the league, we should see McBride back this week, so that's a good thing in the tight end rooms. And Pitts had a 0. Did that surprise you at all?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing over there in Atlanta.
And I guess on the tight end front, I do think that Mark Andrews, watch for him to come back and have a good week this week. I think that's really possible that Mark Andrews is not as bad as what it sounds. He actually a lot of separation, in his separation stats. So the stats are kind of showing that he will, the analytics say that he's about to have a decent week. So
I think so too. I don't think he's dead yet.
So I think keep an eye out for that, and that's I guess some of the things that I see player wise around the league. And anything else? Any news and notes that you have that?
Not too much. Not too much actually. Pretty much covered. Just gotta get ready to start preparing for buys.
Yeah, the buys are always a struggle, especially in all the Clownhead leagues where we start 12 players. So 144 players start, and when you start taking teams out in the buys, that player pool drops really quick, and 30-man rosters with 10-man, 5-man IRs and 5-man taxis, and you really can get deep in a hurry. 40 players.
And there's a couple like good teams with fantasy players that are on bye this week. Like the Chargers are on bye, the Eagles are on bye, the Lions are on bye.
Yeah,
like good fantasy players going to be out this week.
So yeah, it's definitely a navigational situation this week, and so we'll be anxious to come to you next week with some definite different probably leaders in the clubhouse, I would imagine. I think we'll see different teams. So good luck to each of you guys, and jump in the survivor pool. I mean, that'll be fun. And we're starting again week 5. But for the real Brad Smith, I'm the fantasy clown, and so long for now.